as we've said consistently, Scotty has been absolutely integral to our success as a team and to the success of our players. And that's been a process over time, and we're really proud to have him with us and have him continue. We were talking about this morning, as a matter of fact, some of the dark days that we had in our first season in Oklahoma City, and some long walks out of the arena where we would kind of reflect back on the game and see if we could find one positive thing from the 48 minutes. And to think that through that process we've continued to evolve and are in a position today to see him continue moving us forward is really a special thing for the organization. I think in talking about Scott, the consistency of his approach on a day-to-day basis, his makeup as not only a coach but also a person, is really a great fit for our organization. It's had a deep impact on our players and a deep impact on our team and the evolution of our team. I think also important to note here is that Scott has been with the organization for 5 years and has started as an assistant coach and has grown into the position as one of the top coaches in the NBA. And I think a big part of that also is that he really understands our organization. He understands what works here. He believes in it, and he takes those things to the court every single day, be it practice or games. He really has embraced the vision for the program, and he embodies it in a lot of ways himself. And we're thrilled to have him continue with us. Additionally, days like this are not possible without an ownership group led by Mr. Bennett. Their commitment to the vision for our organization, not only the team but the organization as a whole, has made days like this possible. And I think it's really important to note that. As I said earlier, we're really excited to continue with Scott and have him lead us. And we feel like, again, the best is yet to come for our team and also for him. And we're going to do everything we can to support him as he goes to work every single day in this building. So with that, I would turn it over to Scott.
Thanks, Sam. Well, obviously, I'm very excited to be a part of this great organization and city for many years. I'd like to thank Mr. Bennett and the ownership group for giving me this opportunity to coach this great young athletic team that I love to do. And without their leadership and commitment and dedication to our team and our city, none of this would be possible. They allow all of myself and our staff, all the resources to have success with our group of guys, and I thank them for that opportunity. Sam, Sam and I have been together for 5 years. Like he said, we've had a lot of times together where it didn't look like we would be able to get through it, or at least myself would be able to get through it. But his commitment and his friendship towards me has helped me become a better coach and put me in a position to lead this group. Our staff has been terrific, and I thank them for all their hard work that they've given our team and our organization. There's just so many things that I'm excited about. Sam has put together a group of players that are coachable, that want to improve, that are self-motivated, that are excited to be developed every day into good players. And that's what we do here. And just many things. Our staff is, I can't say enough about the people in this building. The players get a lot of credit, and they should. Sam and the coaching staff get some credit, but the people that really put this thing together, those are the people that really come in, day out, and give us the opportunity to have success on the court. I'm so excited about this organization because they do things first class from top to bottom. We believe in community, we believe in teamwork, and we believe in togetherness, and I think that's been exemplified all my 4 years here being with this organization. So without saying much more other than I'm just excited for the opportunity to lead and continue to grow as a coach and continue to lead this team in a direction that we want continue to be proud of. Any questions?
Go ahead.
Scott, was there a point where you thought it wouldn't get done?
Well, no, I think, with the way the season has started, with the lockout, Sam and I met before the season. He gave me, he either said NBA Finals or adios, so he put a lot of pressure on me.
Did I say adios?
No, with the lockout, there wasn't a lot of time. During that, there was no urgency. We knew that we had to wait until they solved the issues. And then once the season started, it was game after game after game, a few days off here and there. We've basically been going every day until mid-June. And when the season ended, we knew that we would get together, and I'm excited that we worked it out. I knew it would work out. This is where I wanted to be. This is where this is the best situation for me. I couldn't ask for a better place to coach, to live, and I'm excited about the opportunity ahead of me.
Sam, you talked about Scott being a good fit here. How much has he helped cultivate that culture that's sort of grown over the last few years?
Well, I think his contributions are enormous. We wouldn't be in this situation, where we feel really good about our future without him. And as I said before, he's got a great understanding of the organization, and a big part of that is because he's helped construct it. And our job is to continue to put him in positions to impact our team, impact our players, and we're really excited about that.
Scott, how involved were you in the process?
Involved, but I was really focusing on coaching our guys and continuing to moving the team forward. I knew it would eventually get worked out, but I was really just focusing on this season, knowing that there was not a lot of time to worry about anything else other than games, practice, and my focus was on the 15 guys I was in front of every day.
When negotiations started in full this summer, was it a matter of you telling your guy, this is what I want, and just sort of staying out of it from there?
Yes, we talked, periodically, and Sam has talked to him also, but it was more just focusing on the season and letting everything develop, and eventually it was going to get worked out. It was just a matter of time. It wasn't that I was worried. I was just focused on winning basketball games, putting our team in a position to be successful every night.
I think also, just to piggyback on that, I think that's a big reason why he's the coach. The fact that his entire focus is on the players, on what he had to do for the team and the organization. I think it says a lot about him as a professional. And sometimes these things take time. We understand that. You got to continue to work at it. But in this case, you have somebody that is important to the organization and somebody that wants to be a part of the organization, and you work at it and try to find a way to make it work for everybody. And we were confident that would be the case.
Sam, you said there was no deadline. His contract ran out Sunday morning or whatever. But the clock was ticking. Did either one of you feel, let's get this out of the way, or get this done because there's still next year and so forth?
Well, of course, we'd like to try to get it done as fast as possible. And when the season ended and we could really put all of our attention, on it, I feel like we got it done fairly, expeditiously. But as I said before, sometimes these things take time. There's a lot more, just conversation that has to happen in order to make it come to fruition. And in terms of urgency, of course, we'd like to get it taken care of for him and for us. And we feel good about the fact that we're starting the summer, and we're full go heading into the future.
How'd you survive those 40 hours without a contract?
Well, just adding to that, we ended up playing until mid to late June. It would have probably got done earlier if we didn't make the playoffs or went to the first round, but it was a good problem to have. Right. It was we were focused on the team and our playoffs, and the guys. That was all of our focus.
Scott, Sam mentioned seeing you grow over the last few years. What are the ways in which you think you've grown the most as a coach over the
I mean, you get better. I mean, you have to get better. You can't stay in this position and not keep improving. I think the biggest teacher I have is our players. You know, I believe in players. I believe in what they do. Is because the players that we have. I mean, it's one of the things that Sam does. He brings in players that are committed to each other and committed to improving. So if it wasn't for the type of players that we have, it wouldn't be as enjoyable, and my job wouldn't be. I wouldn't look forward to it as much. But like I said, my improvement was just being able to manage the day-to-day. The day-to-day job what the job entails, and there's a lot of work involved, but it's work that I enjoy doing, is because the people that I am surrounded with, not only, like I said, not only the players, the staff, the organization has top-notch people from top to bottom, so it makes the job. I look forward to going to work every day.
Sam, what's next? Free agency, retention of players, his staff. What's next?
Well, I mean, we've got a lot of things obviously on our plate. Scott and I have had some really good discussions about just the team and the things that are really important to us going forward. Roster-wise, organizationally, we're going to continue to have those as we head down to Summer League. We obviously are going to start having conversations with James and Serge, and in efforts to try to figure their situations out. But again, an NBA off season is definitely a marathon and not a sprint, and we've got several things that we need to do as an organization internally to make sure that we're moving forward in the right direction. And when we say internally, it's also a big part of that is evaluating, our own internal operation and the systems that we have in place to make sure that we're continuing to improve. Like Scott had said, a big part of our organization is evaluating ourselves, understanding ourselves, what works here in Oklahoma City, what works for the Thunder, and then trying to push that forward and get some marginal gains out of it.
When it comes to staff, is it up to him or both of you, or how's that work?
We'll sit down and talk about it, but Scott is the person that oversees his group. I'm there to support him, but those are decisions that he has to make.
Scott, if you could you go back to that first night in New Orleans? What do you remember taking this center stage in the room before the game?
Well, this was my body language.
I said before you go up there, whatever you do, you can't put your hands on your face. It's not a good way to start.
I didn't listen. I knew we had a long road ahead, but I saw potential, I saw excitement, and it was actually bittersweet. It was the guy who brought me in was a friend. Ended up losing his job, but it gave me an opportunity to be in front of a group that I knew that had a chance to be really good. KD is just a phenomenal person, a guy that you can build your team around because of the work ethic that he brings every day. His commitment to excellence is displayed in front of our guys every single day, and with that as a starting point, I knew that we had a chance. At that point, all I was focusing on is just trying to instill the spirit of competition on a day-to-day basis, and knowing that we weren't going to have a lot of successes with wins and losses, but we will compete at a high level. And like I've always said, we weren't really losing games. We're figuring out ways to win games, and I thought that year was important to our success that we're having now. But with that being said, we still have some work to be done. We are not at a point that we can rest and relax, and if you do that, the NBA catches up and it kicks you right in the butt if you're not committed to keep improving. But that night was a lot of emotions.
Sam, I know you said you expected this to happen, but now that it has happened, and you have kind of the core of this year's team back, do expectations at all for next
Well, we've had the expectations question every year we've been here, and we've answered it the same way each year, which is expectations for us are defined, inside our organization, based on the core values that we have, based on the people that we have, based on, like we talked about earlier, just the understanding of ourselves and what we expect from ourselves on a daily basis. So, we're going to continue to do things the same way, keep our head down, focus on, how we're doing things versus what we're trying to do, and let the results fall where they may. But again, I think Scott is talking about the first night in New Orleans. I think that was the start of building habits, and that process hasn't changed. We're still in the middle of that. He started that evening, and we're going to pick up where we left off last season in Summer League, and that's again why I really feel strongly that he's got an intense understanding of kind of the way we want our organization to operate, and he's a great ambassador of that in so many ways.
Scott, getting back to Darnell's question, did you actually find out on the plane ride down there that you were now the guy? Did you want to jump?
Yes. As I was boarding the plane,
Right.
I knew that I would take over the team the next night.
You still boarded the plane.
And yes, I still boarded the plane. I knew the job was going to be very, very tough. But it's something that being around our group of guys, I knew that we can manage through it together, and we did. It was, even when we talk about this many times, and being 3-29, and Sam and I lived through that, and we survived it because we were committed to the group of guys that we had, and we knew that we had a core group that we're going to continue to improve, and it gave us all hope. Having our players continue to work every day with the record that we had, it's not common, and that they came in every day and gave us great effort.
Do you find yourself more determined as a player or as a coach? Because player, I think your longest contract was year by year, literally.
As a player, playing the game is the best job in the world. There's no question. It's a lot easier than coaching. It's definitely tougher to get in. You can't be an NBA player unless you're a pretty good player. You could be an NBA coach, but it's many people, love the opportunity to do what I do, and I'm thankful for it. But playing and coaching, it's different, but it's so much the same. You have to have commitment to each other. You have to have the dedication to the game. You have to have the respect for the game. But I love what I did as a player, but I really enjoy being able to lead and being able to be in front of the group that I'm in front of every day.
But let me ask it this way. As a player, you said, okay, I can do this. I believe I can do this. As a coach, were you like, I got this, or was it the same answer?
I think it's always been, I've always had a mindset I can do it, and that's always been my mindset from the day I started playing the game at 7th grade on, that I can do it. I never looked at my size. I never looked at my athletic ability to prevent me from not being a good player. And even as a coach, I feel like I've always been preparing myself to be a coach. Playing the point guard probably has helped. I've always been an extension to the coach on the floor. And even with the group of guys, I've always had to be the guy that kind of brought everybody together as a player. And as a coach, I feel like that's what I do every day. And it's a great opportunity that I have.
Scott,
Time for 2 more questions.
Can you just piggyback on that a little bit and talk about how your leadership skills have really sort of gotten the attention of the players and gotten the most out of that? What is it about your leadership?
Well, I think those are questions for the players, but I believe in players. I believe that you have to figure out ways to get them better, and you have to look at their weaknesses and address their weaknesses, but you don't focus on all their weaknesses. You improve those areas, but you focus on what they do, and then you bring it all together. But it's always been, I've always felt the best coaches that I've had are the ones that empowered me to think that I was a little bit better than I was. And I've always felt that if you're able to do that, the players are going to give you more than they think they can give you. And I like I said, I have a great group of guys that I'm able to coach every day. But I have a great opportunity ahead of me, and I'm not going to just rest because we had some success this past season. It's a day-to-day improvement, not only for myself but for the guys.
With that being said, how do you get better as a coach? Like, all of the players came in here and told us what they were going to work on in their game to be better. How do you get better as a coach?
I think you get better by a few areas. You have to continue to watch film and develop your game that way, and also be critical on what you've done in the past and try to improve on it. And also talk to coaches. I love spending time with coaches, whether it's high school coaches, junior college coaches, or college coaches, or other NBA coaches. I think that when you're around, you spark things and you brainstorm and you can improve. My job is to get better. I'm not going to stand up here and say that I'm great. I feel like I have a lot of room to improve, and our players are the same way. We have to all get better, and we've done that pretty good. I mean, we've done that together for the last 4 years.
Sam, how important is coaching in the NBA?
Oh, I think you've seen a lot of that in our evolution of our team. Obviously, the group that Scotty started with, he has cultivated that. And although we've had a lot of change in the personnel over time, I think the consistency and the habits that have been formed are a credit to Scott. He's been integral to building those habits, to staying disciplined to what it is that he wants and expects from the group on a day-to-day basis. To piggyback on something he said earlier, one of the things about Scott that I really truly enjoy about working with him is that he comes in and looks at what the player can do and not what he can't. And he focuses on, this is what this person can do for me, this is how we can work with him, and as opposed to really focusing on what the player's his limitation is. And I think that he carries that over to his demeanor on the sidelines on a daily basis. And I know not everyone gets to see practice on it every day, but he has those guys ready to go, and the guys respond to the expectation level. And we're always trying to capture a standard of performance that we want to play out on a nightly basis. And I'm not sure that we're ever going to. There's no real finish line in that respect. But I can tell you that when the performance level drops, Scott's right there to address it. He has a few things that are really important to him, on those particular core values, he stands on those, and I think those are a big driver to not only the improvement of our team but also definition of the identity of play that we have. And as I said earlier, he's got a great feel for what we're looking to try to do as an organization, and it blends incredibly well with his style as a coach.